Do you suggest going to business with friends?
I don't. We weren't friends. I'm not saying we weren't friends. We weren't great friends. Stop it.
Hello, all. Welcome to Random Ass Convos with Twilla and
Dion Lack.
Why are you not excited?
I'm excited. I always laugh at you emphasize on ass.
Because I don't say it often. This is the only time I get to say it.
She be like, random ass conversations with Dion. It's always funny. She was like, ass.
Somebody has to say it.
You acting an ass by saying ass. So
just are.
Emphasizing on it. Huh?
You just are.
All right. So, today what we doing?
Today, we decided that we're going to talk a little bit just about like who we are as a business. We've been getting a lot of questions about like how did you start business and all those good things. And Dion pointed out that we never really talked about it on the podcast.
No, we haven't.
Do y'all know we have a business? Do you know we're a business?
Because you've been minding your business and you haven't been asking the correct questions to know if we had a business.
Well, let them mind their business then.
All right.
But so we just want to jump right into it. We are an entity called LackToast Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And LackToast Entertainment started primarily as a production company making our own content. And it kind of blossomed into this other thing. Yeah.
LTE. It can be swapped out for LackToast Entertainment or Twilla Entertainment or
LackTangy, because if we're going by last names.
Ooh, LackTangy Entertainment. You know how KFC changed their name to Kentucky Fried Chicken? So by any chance, LackToast, the name becomes like the new virus of the world. They're like, yeah, he got that new lactose. So, we got to change the name. We got to rebrand.
We're LTE, guys.
We're LTE. We can even switch out to LTE. Because Corona, the beer company Corona had a big hit when it came to people assuming that the alcohol Corona was giving people coronavirus.
I can't help but to laugh.
That is hysterical.
Because it's like, people are like, oh, I can't drink that. I'm going to
get coronavirus. This is another fun fact. You can look it up. Uh-huh. You can look it up. In the 80s, there was a diet pill by the name of AIDS.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. With
a Z on the end. And when AIDS came out, it said it helps you lose weight. And obviously what's the acronym for AIDS?
Autoimmune deficiency syndrome.
Yes. When you get that, you typically or sometimes lose weight. It was associated with this AIDS pill will give you AIDS.
Wow.
And it was a grand opening, grand closing. Wow. They shut down immediately.
And now, guys, that company is fentanyl.
It is now ran by Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, no. Stop it.
Too soon?
Too soon. Now we still produce our own content, but we also are a production service company. So we have, in the past, I guess we've been around almost 10 years. We've been around 9 years, but have been editing, directing, shooting for other businesses. And then recently we expanded to where we have studio locations where people can rent out for film and photography. And it's also where we'll shoot. It's where we are right now. We're in our office at LTE Visions, which is our
the
first
office
studio.
part.
In the office part.
Not the rentable part.
Yeah, y'all can't come back here.
Unless you're on the VIP list, which is $59.99 a month.
Yeah. Yep. And then, that's pretty much it, right?
Yep. Let's talk about how we met.
How we met?
Back at West Angeles Church of God in Christ. Shout out to that church where I born and raised in the playground. That's where I spent most of my days. You're from Dayton, Ohio. We in the religious church standpoint, I would say me going to a church on my own without my mother dragging me, West Angeles was the first and only church I went to on my own merit and felt like I grew a tribe there. And we have an incredible class of and talented people that I knew and met there at West Angeles. So I can say born and raised and be confident. Because a lot of my churches back in Dayton, my mom forced me to go. Yeah. It was her background. Yeah.
I stand corrected.
So how about you? What do you think? Before we get into that, what is your born and raised church?
Oh, for sure, West Angeles. That's where when I mean, of course, I went to church in D.C. That was like a church, and then
is that considered home? Not home, but like if you like, man, the church that really kind of birthed my walk.
Oh, that would have been like 8 years old.
Really?
Yeah, in New Ellis.
You had no idea what was happening?
Henderson Grove.
You saying that because your mom was watching?
No, that's really where like I was super about that life.
Because at 8, I was drawing pictures on the back of the programs.
Yeah, like we went to church and we had really good like little Christian camps. I was all into those.
Yeah.
And really learning about the Bible and the Word. So my walk started really early. But I guess as an adult, I feel like in my formative years as an adult, it would have been at West Angeles Church. That's where I met a lot of my tribe here in Los Angeles. It gave me roots, like volunteering. We had a really active young adult ministry. Mm-hmm. So that helped me have something to do and not be getting in trouble doing other things.
Yes.
So I was really involved, and that's where we met.
Yes. At that time, I was a writer for West Angeles for many years. I wrote maybe 10, 15 plays for West Angeles. I remember Twilla was an actress.
What, I act?
Huh?
I act? Can you back away from the mic? I hear a little...
Am I too loud?
No, I hear like breathing or something consistently.
Because I'm fat, man.
Just scoot back.
I'm fat.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You just made me feel uncomfortable. She said, I hear you breathing.
No, it's just like
I see fat people. Is that better?
Maybe it wasn't that.
Is it because my beard is on the mic like this?
No.
Like that?
Just hear it.
Okay.
But...
We're going to keep all this in here.
This here now.
What? What's wrong with my voice?
No.
Cause I'm fat. You hear me? Cause I'm breathing. I say a long sentence and I have to breathe like this.
Anyway.
Okay, I keep it on.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, back to West Angeles in our formative years where we met, where I was an actress, because I did go to school for that.
Yes.
And yeah, you were a writer, and I just remember like at drama rehearsal, like us having a conversation, and then somehow that growing into like, oh, you have a film project?
Right. I remember my earlier tribe was, my boy. Shout out to Kyle Irby, Dominique Purdy, Joe Caffey. Those are my earlier crew, and I just seen how the world was evolving into sketches, and it's like all you need is a camera and learn how to edit. And then I was like, we can shoot some stuff. We can just keep shooting stuff. So I remember going on Craigslist and looking for a camera guy, a boom operator, and actress, and I think we can keep doing this. And I remember hitting up Twills about it. And we came out with Boom Operator.
Yeah.
And she assembled her crew, and we had we had about like 10, 15 people on set, and obviously it was our first project. We dropped I think we dropped like $500 on the editor, who's also the actress. Nancy Corbo. Shout out to Nancy Corbo. Our very first project. It wasn't that funny. We had to do a lot of editing to make it funny. I realized that you start to kind of see the problem. So we got to do another one, and everybody just kind of backed out like, yeah, it's not that funny. Let me slow down. And when everybody backed up, it was left with just me and Twills. No one else was around.
They gave up on us.
Yeah, they gave up on us. And our next project was what?
After Boom Operator, was it the comedy rap? Ted Wilson? Wait. Because there was Surprise that we did with, like, early on. We did the Ted Wilson sketch.
Yeah. Fast forward, we did a lot of sketches together. And then at this rate, we finally got a hit when it came to Real Church Wives of LA or whatever.
Real Church Wives.
Real Church Wives.
Yeah.
And then right after that, we did LackToast Anthem, which Jill Scott retweeted, and we was like, we on our way.
We famous.
We about to make it. we got a repost from Jill Scott.
Yeah, that was big.
And then we was like, we got to start a business. We got to start a business because we just got to be prepared. I didn't say that this is all Twills because obviously I wasn't thinking about we're gonna start a business.
Yeah, you weren't thinking about the business. You were more so like, I think we could do this.
Right.
I think we could do business. We could work together. And I was like,
yeah, but also. Twilla definitely set me up because I always looked at myself as the entertainer, the face of a business. A face of
the company.
Of not the company. I would say I always see myself as the forerunner, the face. Like I was the entertainment, and I was trying to like have Twills be the writer, director, the editor. Obviously, selfishly trying to like, hey, help me be great.
And I was like, I'll help you be great.
No, you didn't say that.
Listen, I was like, I'll help you be great, but you're going to be great in a way that you can do it all as well.
No, you didn't say that.
I didn't say it, but what happened?
You did not say that. You showed me. You pointed me in the direction of stuff like I write a script. You was like, you need to learn how to do final draft.
That's exactly what I was saying. That's me helping you be great.
You didn't wait. You didn't. If you had told me that, I would have never done it.
I know not to tell you these things.
So instead of telling me that, you just like, okay, I'm gonna take your script from Word, put it over here. Cause this is the standard this is the industry standard right here. So I was like, oh, like if you turn this in, you're gonna get turned away immediately. And then I kept like seeing how she was slowly build me as a production. And then when I have a script, I'm like, all right, here, take this script that I've written and you direct it. I'll be in the front of the camera. And she was like, I think you have an eye for directing as well.
But no, let's tell you why I had to get there. Because I like directing. It's like Dion has very specific, like, a vision. So if it's not, I won't say according to his vision, but I'll say according to his vision. If it's not like, oh, like he's more so like, oh, did you get this shot? Or why did you take that? And I would just be like, let me do this. Let me shoot the way I want to shoot it. And then it would be like, damn, let me do this. So it's like, okay, you have an eye for this. You are good at this.
It. Right.
Like, you understand it. And I'm not going to sit here and just regurgitate your vision that you want me to do. So I'm going to show you how to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then from there, we will have a project written and now it's ready to go as a director. And he was like, well, what camera are we going to use? He's like, well, we got to outsource for that. So
well, then, before that, you remember what camera we had?
Who?
You remember the little flip cam back in the day?
Yes, we had a flip cam.
Yeah.
That was literally like the guts of a cell phone.
You just record and then plug it to the USB
we had that.
upload.
We recorded the Kim Kardashian thing. We recorded the Ted Williams. We recorded a lot of stuff from just that little flip camera. And he was like, if we gonna really do this, we have to pay somebody. And I think at this time we started doing a bunch of the lyrical flash mobs. Yeah. Because our first lyrical flash mob was the one that I did by myself with Arana, Keenan, Dante, and I think it was Chad. No, Ronnie Ray. Yeah. And then I remember Big Ja was like, yo, if you need a cameraman, let me know, dude. Let me know. Yeah. And then that's when his quality of camera came in. Like, oh, there is a difference with camera quality. And from there, we shot like 4 lyrical flash mobs with him. And it was like, I think we're wasting our time with sketches. With sketches, we can learn how to make movies. And then we transitioned from sketches to making movies. And then our first project was Caught in the Shadows. Mm-hmm. We got greedy.
We did too.
Caught in the Shadows right here, by the way. Caught in the Shadows.
Yeah. Caught in the Shadows. Shout out to Danette Wilson. Mm-hmm. Always there. Always down to shoot. Phenomenal actress.
And then immediately after that, we got real greedy and did Truth Lies.
Shout out to David Hunter Jr., our homie.
Yeah.
Great actor, writer.
Who was also from Los Angeles, from our tribe.
Yep.
And then from there, mind you, all this time, all the footage that we had, it was my writing, it was my vision. Twilla was editing all those, but I was over her shoulder. I was over her shoulder, telling her what to edit. But I'm also watching and learning how it's done.
And he'd be like, "Why'd you choose that shot?" So this is why he's over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Because he'd be like, "Why'd you choose that one?"
Absolutely.
And I'd be like, at first I would be like insulted, like, well,
yeah,
do you not trust me? Like, I could do this. Mm-hmm. And then, like, I can do this. I went to school for this. Like, that was always my, like, listen, I could do this. But then realizing, like, oh, he really has an eye for this. Mm-hmm. He need to learn it.
Then now I just feel like I just kept stacking on things that I was doing, writing, directing, editing. Twilla always produced. And then like I said, we went from Truth Lies.
Oh, but I wrote Caught in the Shadows. Don't take that away from me.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
But I directed it and edited it.
Yeah.
Which you could have done it yourself because it was your vision. So then after Truth Lies became, we bought a camera, which we named it Baby Toast, right? Mm-hmm. Was it Canon like A20 or something like that?
XA10.
Yes, XA10. And then we started shooting our own stuff. From there, this is where our business really took off because we started to understand clientele. We got on Fiverr and we started to pitch our talents to the world, literally the world, because it was an online platform that pretty much, what do you call it?
Like, yeah, for freelancers. So people come on and they're searching for people who can either make them a promo or like a 30-second promo, or like we could use Dion's talents in rapping and presenting certain, edits and different things that they want writing. And it got really, really, really busy.
Right.
Really fast.
Right.
And so no time dedicated to doing like our creative
Our own stuff. Yeah.
stuff. And it was a couple of weeks there where it was like, sleep when?
Yeah.
And keep in mind, like, this whole time, like, I've always kept a full-time job for the most part. It was like that 1 year that I took off and I was more like freelance, or I think it was probably like 6 months that I had. But otherwise, it was just, we were
Yeah. It was tough.
crazy busy.
And editing out of her apartment.
All in my apartment was our home office.
Yeah.
Editing and shooting out of that space.
Absolutely. Green screen.
Yeah.
And what I used to do is I took the idea of the lyrical flash mobs and made promos for people's like product commercial announcements. I would rap what they would tell me what to say. That right there helped me how green screen work, lighting work, how to plan out my shots, because I'm talking to myself, because I was doing dual dialogue, and it made me so much of a beast at editing, because there was a lot of mistakes because I had to reshoot a lot of stuff. So it's like, I'm not gonna waste my time on this. So
yeah. And then we were doing Sweet Tea and Sass around that time too.
Yes,
so it was a lot of green screen there. And then I think, like, we just continued, like, we get clients, we get corporations, like West Angeles affiliates, were like,
word got out,
like different churches will ask us to edit or record services, and then nonprofit organizations will ask us to do mini docs and things like that for them.
Schools.
So yeah, schools. So we got busy, and we're like, we're making money, like, this is a thing now. And it just, like, I think the past 5 years have been like really just growing as a business, bringing in money. And then 2 years ago we decided that we needed an office, and by we I mean me, because like I just moved into a new apartment. All of our equipment was like spilling out.
Yep.
Like, I didn't have storage for this new equipment. And we set up my walk-in closet became the office. And so Dion was like in my walk-in closet editing our equipment all over the place.
Way this equipment could came to my house. There was no way.
And and I don't live by myself, so then having a roommate, you also have to be like considerate of like their needs. And it was just at this time, like, you know what, we really got to find an office space. I don't know if we can consistently afford the overhead for it, so let's get a studio, and part of it will be an office, and the other part we can rent out and make sure that it at least pays for itself.
Right.
And
great idea.
Here we are.
But that first 6 months was tough because you gotta get the word out.
Yeah.
People don't. You really have to do a lot of free stuff, as in, I wouldn't say for other people, but for yourself. Just say, hey, I have a project here. Come here. It's free, and it's like, I'm gonna edit this for free. So now you are bringing people that has eyes that can verbally say, hey, yeah, he has a studio down the street, or But by doing that, you are bringing people in for free. But then you have to kind of keep molding, like, we have a studio, and tag your studio.
Yeah. And I really want to shout Dion out, because although I know this was for sure my vision, then, like, I got called to go to work. And I don't believe in just working for money, but I also believe that I need money to afford life. So I accepted, these jobs and these gigs, and Dion is really like holding it down here with the clientele. Like, I would hop in when I can to talk with the clients and to give them, like on the back end. Mm-hmm. The face, they still think they're talking to Dion. That's fine, because that's who they come and they see. And Dion really was like, he became this social media strategist overnight, and like, so this is what you got to do. You got to post this many times daily. This is who you got to talk to. Like, make sure we add them, and like, the work's paid off. Peer Space, we have great ratings. Right. It's all compliments. People love the space, and it's been. It wasn't
on purpose, because I was just here. I definitely not going to take that credit away, but if I wasn't here, it would have been a problem. Like, the fact that I was literally working here Like it was like I have no choice but to be the face of the space.
Yeah, and I mean it was also assumed that you would be working here because you're not working in my closet.
Right. Right. You
So
got some cooking up.
yeah, we have a few questions, all business related that we can
She's
answer.
shuffling things up again, ladies and gentlemen.
What, Dion?
Week 36. She keeps printing out these papers that she could have wrote herself. You could have wrote it down. You could say, "Hey, Dion, write these questions down," and then do like this and point to it. Go for it.
I have carpal tunnel.
Here she goes. She has not been diagnosed. She has not went to the doctor and said she has carpal tunnel.
I know when it hurt. I can barely type.
It's like saying, "Oh, my stomach hurts. My ovaries are moving."
Whatever. Don't talk about ovaries because you don't have any.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't get diagnosed though. I just verbally said it.
You don't have ovaries.
I can say that because you just said I got carpal tunnel.
Do you know what carpal tunnel is?
It's when the car goes through a tunnel. Go for it. Read your question.
Business basics. So how do you even start a business, and did you have a background in business?
Is there an even in there?
How did you even start a business?
That sounds like somebody disrespecting me. How'd you even start a business? That even makes it even more of a threat.
You upset?
Yo, how do you even start a business? Hold on, man. Screw all of that. What you just said. How you even start a business?
Starting a business for me, I do a lot of research before any and everything, and you can ask Dion this.
Yes.
Like I might over research a thing. So in starting
over research.
Over research.
Oh.
So for us, I was like, I know there's different types of businesses. So I'll first say, like, I don't have a business background, but my parents have always owned a business. So I've seen them start a business. I've seen it from like it start off in the living room till it like they have several locations and like 40 something plus employees. So I've seen that trajectory, and so I kind of knew what it took. I did research. I Googled how to start a business. I actually went through like LegalZoom to start our LLC. I did a lot of reading about like what state to register in, what's the pros and cons, what type of business structure should we have. And I knew that like even as a film production company, if you're going to be shooting like short films or certain things, you should have like a certain level of protection. So I was like, I know that we don't have necessarily money coming in, but I think we should protect ourselves with this veil of being a corporation. And so if anybody hurts themselves on one of our sets, we are protected. They can't sue us personally. So that was like the biggest reason we started. I went through LegalZoom. I think looking back, we didn't have to start through LegalZoom, but I also believe sometimes in paying for conveniences, just so I didn't mess up on any paperwork, because the paperwork was a bit intimidating. So it does cost money to register your LLC. And then we registered for our IRS EIN number, and you can do that directly through the IRS. And I think after that, I bought our website domain. Those three things is what I did first. And that's how we started.
Yeah, I highly recommend you don't start your business until you have a plan.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose a lot of money from
just paying annual fees.
Just paying annual fees and taxes and trying to buy all these things. And then like really like I won't say have everything planned out, but know what is your 1 year goal, 5 year goal, 10-year goal. Give you a prime example of something that we all know. I don't think Burlington knew that they weren't going to be selling coats exclusively 20 years after they started. They had to drop the name Burlington. I mean, they had to drop the name Coat Factory because they felt like they was pigeonholing themselves. Now they're just called Burlington. So being smart by saying like, I don't want to be called, Johnny's Cupcakes and sprinkles. And it's like, man, I really wish we branched off. We're selling burgers now,
Yeah.
And so, being smart by, knowing your 1, 5, and 10-year goals, maybe 20. Keep going because you want to obviously be in there for the long haul. But yeah.
I think, because I think we actually sometimes I think I'll say this, I do sometimes think we started too early with the LLC.
I agree.
But I don't necessarily.
I don't regret it. I don't regret it.
But I do know that there's been times where it'd be like, like we sit down and be like, what is this company?
Right.
What are we doing? And those are good, important conversations I think you have to have and stick to it. Like, you can't, like, today be like, well, we're going to make movies and YouTube content only. And then tomorrow I'll be like, well, actually, we're going to only shoot church services. Right. And it's like, because you're never going to get anywhere. Like,
what's a tough fork in the road is when you start a business and you have plan A, but in order to get to plan A, you have to do plan B. But then plan B takes off. Now the tough like question is, do I pivot to plan B because it's my money maker, or do I outsource with plan B and continue to plan A? That's a tough one.
Phase out.
Right.
Of plan B.
Right. Because obviously this location was never a plan A in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's great moneymaker. Great moneymakers. I don't regret having this location, these studios at all. But the overall goal came late of, we would love to have a fully functional production studio with many sound stages. But this is definitely a starter kit to knowing how to groom a business and knowing how to deal with clientele and the money in and out, and how to plan calendars and having staff and cleaning crews and all that stuff. This is a great starter kit versus like having a 15-acre studio.
Right. Yeah, and I also think like to that, like your example, Burlington, how they didn't foresee themselves not selling coats, and now they don't sell coats. I mean, they don't do just coats.
Right.
They do other things. I think the same with our business. We learned that, like we want to not be so tied into doing all the production services that we're not creating our own content, because our own content was our A. And then so being more so like what can almost take care of itself. Not saying, because there's a lot that goes into running us the two locations, but like it being the thing that raises money and profits enough that we can now focus on our creative part, and then we can phase out of doing like those other things that are way more time consuming. So it's more so just thinking in all those different areas and growing. And
the toughest thing that all business owner will have to do, and is make the decision of, when you start a business, people are going to see your talent. They're going to want to hire you. You have to make that tough decision by saying, is it, yes, they're paying me, is it worth it, or is it still worth chasing my dream? Do I need to pass on this? Do I need to, outsource? Do I need to oversee it from somebody else? Can I take the job? Because you're never going to get back to your original job if people keep hiring you for your talent.
And if you don't have a plan, like if you don't have a reason why, like when I take jobs, I'm there to learn. Like it's a strategy.
Right. Yeah, of course.
I am there to learn from the best, and then take that and make sure I can apply it, and then also know that I have an exit plan, and I have to say that exit plan so I can be held accountable.
Right.
Like I can say to Dion, or I can say to one of my girls, so after this, I'm not going to work for X amount of months so I can focus on my business. Mm-hmm. Even though that means, turning down jobs. Now, if I didn't tell them that and I just got another job offer, it's easier to be like, I'm going to just keep working because the money's not bad. But you have to to know the reason why you're in something, have friends holding you accountable, and make sure you're learning. Like, if you're going to take time away from doing what you want to do, like this business that you set up, you better make sure there's something in it for you. And it's not always financial. It could be networking. It could be skill set, because the only jobs I take are in production on the producer's track. So better believe that what I learn, I'm able to bring back and apply it to my own business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good word to end on.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Foliage. It's a waste of paper, man. This could have been. It's called the future. This is the future. Where do you see LackToast in the next 10 years? What a segue. In the next 10 years, so that would be 2000. What's today? What's it, 21? 2031.
Yeah.
That bothered you, didn't it?
Yes.
She said.
There's a place.
2031. Great question. I see expansion. I see a lot of movies, sold movies under our belt. I want a studio. I want a like a 19 stage studio that is in a great central location, possibly South LA, because everything is so north. Just to kind of give back to the. I haven't thought about this 10 year, but I definitely. I'm going back to the original plan of what do we want. I want sold movies. I want to get back in front of the camera.
Yes. Give us some more Dion Lack on camera.
Yes.
Superstar.
Yeah, and I want to do something with my children, as in like some sort of movie that I want to write for my kids.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I think it's important that as business partners will be on the same page. So I definitely agree with the, lots of movies under our belt. Those things are already in motion, praying for that to happen. Also, just like, I would love to have a first look deal. Like our production company have a first look deal.
For those who don't know what first look deal, can you please tell the people what that is?
Pretty much like anything that we develop would be pretty much like the idea. We'd be paid to come up with great ideas. Like it's usually with another studio. It could be with another production company. But definitely would love to have, like LackToast have a first look deal as we develop future ideas. I would love to have distributed a bunch of our own films and, in the trajectory going towards that. If we don't have our own studio yet, would love to be going there. And I just think it's,
and mentor others.
Oh, definitely. That's like built
We're
in.
doing that now.
Yeah, definitely believe in, like Dion said, giving back in the area that, like we spent a lot of time and did a lot of shoots and things like that. So, yeah, that is a good question. We probably should do a 10-year vision board there.
Yeah. Is there a such thing as a second look deal?
After they're done with the first look.
It's like, can we take a look at it? It doesn't matter. We got the first look. Okay. I just want to look at it.
And they own the stuff that you come up with during that time.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's no second look.
No, I'm saying, like, it feels like you get the first look. Right after that, before you get to them, I want to have the second look and just be like, okay, that's what's up. Okay.
And then next thing you know, a similar movie coming out. That's probably what they do have.
Yeah.
I hope this is really helping somebody.
It's helping me because I just found out that you are a vegan. I don't know.
Word to the wise. What do you wish you knew before you started your business?
What do I wish I knew before I started my business? I wish I had. I don't know. I feel like everything happened for a reason. But what I wish I had before I started my business.
Wish you knew.
Wish I knew.
Yeah.
I wish. Man, I just wish I had the mindset of where I'm at now. Then, that's it. That's because I think I'll be a lot further. Yeah. I was always afraid. Here's the thing when it comes to entrepreneurship. When you set your own prices, you typically get self-conscious on being rejected. I had a discussion with one of my friends. We were talking about when you do free stuff, you are the most confident because you like, this is for free. I'm gonna give you my best work, and you're gonna love it, and you're gonna walk away because you're getting it for free. But it was like, but then if it's like, hey, I'm charging $1,000, you'd be like, they like, oh, $1,000. You're like, oh, what you got? I'll do it for 200. But it's like now you're self-conscious about your rates because you're like, now I feel like I'm getting rejected because I really want to do this project because I see your vision. I really want, I can really do this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and I want to show you how great I am. So do you typically kind of drop your rate down to something that's like wasting your time? I've done that numerous times. Because I want people to believe in who I am and what I've done. And then I see myself like I have a problem with rejection. And then what helped me get over the rejection is always have a plan. What are you doing this for? What are you doing? So then I had to start looking at it like when people hire you, they're not hiring you for your talent. They are paying you to pull you away from your project that you're working on. So if I'm working on a script which I am, and someone say, hey, I need you to direct a music video for me, I'm typically like, it's not about the music video. They saying that I need to pay you for your time because you're getting pulled away from your dream. And it's like, I know your time is cool. I know your time is valuable. Is it possible that you can stop your project for $1,500 so you could, help me chase my dream? And I look at it like I'm building their project for free. That's how I had to look at it. Mm-hmm. So when it came to like setting my rate, I always looked at it like I refuse to do this for free because I have gold over here. I have money over here. And they say, hey, could you do it for, $200? Like, no, I can't. That is not worth me stepping away from this project I'm working over here.
Yeah. I think I wish I knew, starting out, maybe, like you said, everything happens for a reason. And so we learn along the way. But we had like such gold. I wish I knew that like YouTube and Vine and Instagram were gonna be like bigger, or what it was, the potential that it was, because we always kind of shied away from those from social media in a way early on, even when we knew like, hey, everybody's putting all their stuff on this one and you should be doing that. Like we know the people who are doing those and doing well on them, and it's not that nobody told us. It's just like, well, we want to be filmmakers, and we want our quality work to be like this, not realizing that it was actually a tool and not a bandwagon. Absolutely. So, like, I would say, like, don't shun technologies, and I think we're kind of there now where we're about the crypto, we're about the, but still that late. Came with lessons. Still late. A little late, but that still came with, like, lessons, and, technology will only benefits small companies like ours, and if we can get on the forefront of it. So I do wish that, and it was a moneymaker on top of that. It wasn't just like finding audiences, that it was also like bringing in sponsorship and advertisements and different things like that. So early on, like I'm even thinking about, because I think about like, you remember we were staying at Miss Carol's? Well, I was staying at Miss Carol's, and we would be working out of the room, and we were doing like the CDs and putting on the labels, and we worked hard. Our documentary, our backstory of what we've done and the things that we've accomplished, and you know, the late night hours and early mornings and the fussing, and you got a fine because you put a flyer up somewhere it wasn't supposed to be, like just all those different things. It will pay off, but I definitely, like when I look back, I'm like, we could have used those tools more.
Right. I want Michael B. Jordan to play me in the biopic. How about you?
I haven't decided who gets to play me yet.
Because I feel like we have a great story. I won't. Well, Michael B. Jordan's not that tall, right?
I don't know.
So I will have to let me see who looks like me.
Von Miller.
He's not an actor.
You said who looks like you?
I'll probably have to pick Winston Duke.
Oof.
Winston Duke to play me in the biopic of the LackToast Entertainment.
I will play myself.
Like, Twilla, you are 65 years old playing the 18-year-old version of you.
How do you think Winston is?
No, I'm just saying.
I will play myself to be side with Winston, and like I could just be like, I could add a spin to our story.
That's funny.
It'd become a little different. It'd be different than the version you remember. It's Winston Duke.
So you because we had a lot of arguments. So you know, Winston Duke would be screaming at you. You'd be like, "You're supposed to love me. What are you doing?"
That never happened. We have had a lot of
arguments.
Which is funny because I think that's the next.
That's gross. This better not be there. That's funny. No. Yeah, we argue a lot. We have a lot of disagreements. Of course, in business, you definitely have to have some sort of disagreements. But most importantly, I think communication is key to any relationship.
And I think we also argue more freely because we're friends.
Yeah.
And so we do have a for real friendship.
This is crazy that this is business relationship. That's crazy. I don't know if that has any. I don't know what the question is, but I don't know if it has anything to do with. Do you guys argue? Oh, that's crazy. Do you suggest? What is happening here? Do you suggest going into business with friends? That's your segue. Okay, I got you.
Do you suggest going to business with friends?
I don't. We weren't friends. I'm not saying we weren't friends. We weren't great friends. Stop it. We weren't great friends in the beginning of the business.
No, we weren't.
And if we were like best friends from childhood and you have so much more to lose, that would be a problem.
Yeah, facts.
And we didn't know like if a business failed, your friendship would fail as well. But now we're in a predicament because we are really, really great friends. This is my best friend. And if this business fails, it will be very awkward. I can't say fail, but I don't know how it will fail.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, if our business for some reason just went away, or like, I feel like our business, like, we've been through some business lows that I feel like at the point where, like, our business just went away because we didn't have any money. Like, we've been at that point. But I feel like if it was just like a total disagreement in the way of how our business went, how we should run the business, irreconcilable differences, if you will, I think that would reflect in our friendship, because it'd just be like
say for instance, like it was like, hey, Sony wants to buy the company for, $800 million. And you like, no. I'm like, yes.
I would say yes. But for the sake of the story.
And I'm like, yes. Will you say yes? I'm like, no. Just for the sake of the story. Since you said he'll say yes. And I'm like, no. We got $1 billion business. We can keep going. You be like, Dion, no.
I'm tired.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I swear we got something going. And then you like, I'm taking the money. And then you do it without my consent. And then it's like, okay, I see right now that you're weak-minded. And you're not thinking the way I see, like Master P always say, like when somebody try to buy his company, it's like, if y'all trying to buy it, I can see that y'all see something that I don't see.
Yeah.
So if that, I'm not, this is a whole different, it's starting to spark to something else now. But if something like that happened, that we had a disagreement, I can see a branch happening with most groups that like, you take that and I take that and you figure it out over there.
And it'd be like difficult to do, like, hey, let's
you still gonna have lunch.
You want lunch? Let's meet up for lunch.
Because at that point, if you had like a huge like entity
like that,
or like a huge like team, now they have to, like, they're like our children. They have to kind of like, who are we going to hang out with now?
Yeah.
Who are we going to be loyal to now?
Yeah, I think we definitely came in at the right familiarity with each other. Like, I don't think we could have been better friends. And honestly, like, I won't say like enter business in with a stranger. Enter in business with somebody who you know, like, their strength or their character, in that you wouldn't mind getting to know better, because there will be late nights. And when money is involved in things, you get to know people's characters and their strength. Like, you know, like, are they willing to sell everything for just a few $1,000s? Are they willing to cheat and, you know, scam their way into certain things? Like, you really get to know a person and who you're comfortable working with. So, like, if you don't know them right off, like,
know them in all the seasons.
Get to know them in all the seasons. But I'm saying, if you don't know them right away, try to find out something about them. Like, if they went to a great business school, you know, if they went to a great business school, you're like, there's a benefit. Ask some of their friends, like, just don't go in. You might want to know a credit score. Like, do you pay bills? Because you're going to be the money person probably. And if you don't pay bills, I don't know. So just different, you know, there's things to think about with friendships. Like, I remember when we first started, this person did say, like, I would never go into business with a friend. And he just recently had a production company, and I think they fell out, and the business partner took all the equipment. So I just I forget at what conference somebody was saying that, and I was like looking at Dion with a side eye, like, should I rethink this?
Oh boy. Yeah, that's a tough question. That's a tough question. I think hypothetically, if our company fell apart, I will hope that the relationships and my integrity and my, what's the word? My character could carry another business. Now, like, let's just sell everything as is. You can take what you want, but we're gonna split the money down to half, and you go your way. I would take what I've built and recreate it. Yeah. Like that. That's how I would handle it, versus like a messy sort of like
divorce.
Yeah. You know that LMFAO broke up? And great music, great fun party music. And just a money situation, and they just never got back together. That's it.
Money will do it. You want to do one more?
Sure. There's nothing in there, man. Stop stirring it up.
There's two in here. Did you?
Okay, let's answer them both then. Let's answer them both. You get one, since we only got two left. All right, let's be real quick, because we got to wrap it up like a AIDS commercial. What's that say?
SWAT.
What's SWAT mean?
Strengths, weaknesses, something and something. I forget what the ONT is.
Why would you do that?
Because I knew it at the time.
You wanted to sound smart. And they don't know what the acronym
Look
means.
it up. If you're interested in businesses, you should always do SWOT analysis on your businesses.
What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? I enjoy writing, directing, acting, editing. Weaknesses: producing, losing weight, pitching, and reading.
Okay. So I think my strengths are definitely producing, coming up with great ideas, all the time great ideas, and being like a really good admin and being able to keep things together. That's what makes me a good producer and a business partner.
Mm-hmm.
I think my weaknesses would be consistency.
Gotta keep it together, as you would say.
Just consistency, because I do, I write. I do have great ideas. Sometimes seeing it all the way through is the tragedy.
Next question.
Next question. Business savvy. I think you almost touched on this. You did touch on this. How did you know when to start charging or increasing your rates?
I've already talked about it. You do yours.
So it's different. I guess it's pretty much the same like it is that you're charging for your time. For me, it's like things that people come to me for are things usually like producing, things that I have fun doing anyway. And so then I'm like, oh, this is fun. But then I'm like, it is taking up a lot of time. It's fun, but it's taking too much. Like, even if somebody comes to me to do a graphic, that's fun to me. And it's fun to me and easy for me, sometimes therapeutic. But it is a time to charge when you realize that people keep coming back to you for this. It's like, oh.
Yeah. And also a lot of people realize that consulting, you can charge for that.
Yeah.
You can just let them know, like, hey, I have a question. And a lot of times, we look at friends as friends and not clients. Sometimes people ask you a question. You can be very vague with it. You can point them in the right direction. When they get specific, you can be like, all right, you are tapping into way too much. Twilla is very free when it comes to consulting. I will give somebody 10 minutes max. But then I'm like, okay, you are trying to milk way too much for me.
Yeah.
Twilla will be going to sleep with people. Like, she'd be like, So what you have to understand is open up page 6.
Yeah. I do. That is true. I'm very free with information for the most part. But I also realized that it's time to start charging. Well, so basically I had a convo with a person who was asking for a certain amount, and what they were asking for was a lot, and so that rate was going to be a lot. But in a couple of years ago, we might have jumped on it for whatever that budget was.
Absolutely.
And because it's work and it's money coming in, and at that rate, if I would have accepted it at that rate, I would have had to convince Dion why it was okay to accept it at that rate.
Yeah.
He would have been grumbling the whole time while editing.
We're only getting like $25 for this, right?
Right. And then also just like, we really got bills. Like, we got real bills. We have overhead. We have 2 locations, right? We have equipment.
Right. And if they don't pay it, you're gonna pay it.
Right. It's coming from somewhere.
Right.
So it's like, it's time to start charging when like that's the reality. And the goal is like this to be consistent full-time work. I mean, Dion is consistent full-time. This is your full-time. And I just said today, like, I don't know if I want to go back to work. So then that means I better make sure that everything that we do is making money. And so that's was like, or like when we get the jobs where people are like, we say this is the rate, and they be like, okay, cool, and they just pay it. And then so the other jobs were people you got to fuss with. I'm like, well,
you're my wrong client.
You're the wrong client.
I've been trying to get Twills to really tap into her talent. She really does great graphics. She really does great posters, flyers. She's a great editor as far as like word editing.
You don't think I do good video editing?
I mean, yes, but I would never rely on you to do that because you tap out too quick. Yeah, but like I was like, we can definitely. This could be our full-time job. This is definitely my full-time job.
I guess it kind of goes back though when you say like tap into those things. It goes back to like, what do you want? Like, why am I making? Like at that point, it's like.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah, like I'm doing it solely only to make money, not because I think it's growing our company in the way that it should be grown. So although I know that's a way that I can make money if I need to, is not the way I want to make money.
But what if because this is epiphany right now, what if we use what we've learned by making this money and pitch it back to the next person? Now our name is getting paid and we're still getting money, and then we're taking that money to the other end and we're overseeing the final product. Like if you was like a graphic designer, and then you will talk to the client, tell them what they want, like, and then you describe it to somebody else and say, hey, this is what they want, and after that I look at it, change this, fix this, add that, and now you're consulting. What are you about to say? You're consulting the your whoever I don't even call it the intern hired graphic designer, and now you're pretty much taking money off the top, but you're still, your brand, your name is LackToast and Twilla, whatever. And you're save time, made money off the top, and blah blah blah. But just like that's exactly what like Timbaland does. Timbaland doesn't make all these beats. He has a team of people.
But people are still coming to him for beats. So the people brand would be coming to the brand for logos or the brand for poster design,
right? Which
is not what we necessarily set out to do. See, this is why we could discuss these things. This is the actual real discussion of how we do things. So now it's like LackToast Entertainment, film, television, marketing, like now marketing with graphics and things like that. That's not anything that we set out to do or anything.
No, we haven't. But like I said, that's how you build your team.
We're building our team.
But you're great at graphics. But you don't never market yourself as making graphics.
Right.
So by any chance you market yourself as graphics, you get a buttload of clientele. You enjoy doing it. You say, okay, I feel like I found my niche. But it's like, but this is way too much. Let me outsource. And now you're overseeing the final product.
Right. I understand that. My question was in the branding part of it. So like, how like earlier this year we were like, we're going to get back to making more content, and we're going to make sure that, because that was what we set out to do, and we want to get back to that.
Right.
And then so it's like, do I take time away from that to start focusing more on doing graphics for other people? Because the only reason I learned graphics is to do stuff for LackToast. That's the only reason I do it. And then what I create is usually for LackToast or a favor or one-off every now and again for a friend.
Right. Same as me with editing. The only reason I learned how to edit is because I had to edit my own project. So we're going to wrap up the podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope this podcast, you got to know us a little bit more. Felt very serious. I feel like I wasn't my comedic self today.
Y'all got to see the other side of Dion. Y'all got to see the businessman, the thinker, the one who is always like, a visionary with what we do. Of course we have fun, but it was more so like insight into LackToast. leave comments, leave questions if you have more questions, suggestions, whatever. Let me know if y'all think I should do graphics.
Yes. She published my book.
That was hard.
Yeah, and you can get a buttload of money. Like, imagine getting $10,000 to publish someone's book. Is that still hard?
Yes. The hardness did not go away.
but money definitely eases and complements the job. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
It talks you into it, like, well, at least I can pay off this car.
I already did that.
I know. I was all right. You being literal. All right, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell to get the notification every time we post a video. We have a lot of content coming out, and we are going super fast, super far. I have nothing else to say.
Join us on this journey.
Yes.
Thank you. See you next time.